Hello, everybody. I'm back doing reacts. It's been a crazy, crazy few weeks. Getting ready, just doing end of summer stuff, getting ready for school. My kiddo started middle school, and some family stuff. And as you guys know, my laptop is acting up. I have a really good gaming laptop. It's a few years old, and the fan is acting up. And I really didn't want to overstress it with running OBS or games or anything like that. It seems to be doing okay for the most part right now. The fan is running right now, but it doesn't sound like an airplane right now, so we're going to see. But as I mentioned in a community post, I am going to be setting up and using my partner's desktop he just replaced, and it's still a really, really good one, so that'll be good, and that will be stable, and the laptop will kind of be a backup. So yeah, if you are returning, thank you so much for watching. I've got a lot of great viewers that have been hanging around. And if you're new, my name is Chris. I am currently on my own health and weight loss journey. I have a medical background. I have also studied health, nutrition, different diets extensively, especially low carb, keto, carnivore, stuff like that, hormones in the body. And I'm just a little bit eclectic and goofy and weird, and I don't mince words. I try not to. And yeah, that's just how I am. I go at my reacts. I try to be funny and be entertaining, but I try to come at it from an educational and helpful critique point of view. Nothing I say is medical advice. Have to give the disclaimer. Always check your doctor or nutritionist or whoever you have if something is going on, or if I say something that resonates with you. So today we are, and I've thought about doing this for a long time, guys, and I figured this is as good a time as any. She's back, I'm back, we're all back. So today we're going to be looking at April Lauren. And I do have my own opinions about April. I will share them. I don't mean her any harm. I think out of all the girls, and yes, April, you are in girl world, I think that April, out of everybody, has the most chance of success, or the most hope for success. And that's one of the reasons why I find her extremely frustrating. She's kind of in the same boat as me. I'm not as heavy as her, but I'm in my early 40s. She's almost 40. I have really severe PCOS. I have insulin resistance. I know she has PCOS. I know she has got to have insulin resistance. I had trouble conceiving from my PCOS and everything, and I lost weight, got in shape with a strict low carb diet many, many years ago. And we actually, my son's father and I, we ended up having my son on accident. It was a total surprise. We didn't know that my body had gotten so healthy that the PCOS had kind of straightened itself out. So, I do have a history of disordered eating, binge eating, the Mia, since we can't say adult words here on an adult channel, talking about adult things, we have to make words up. So if you think about eating disorders and you think of the word Mia, I'm sure you can kind of figure it out. So I tend to kind of like sympathize with April, because I know her sister, who did great. I did a review on her. Admitted to having binge eating issues, and she said their mother did, and I really truly think April does too. We'll get into that as we go. She is sped up for time. I will link her full video down below so you can go check her out, and I will skip over anything that I find kind of not relevant. And let me be honest, guys, I'm not trying to be mean, and I have to preface that a million times in these like reviews and stuff. I've had people go, "Oh, take a shot every time she says I'm not trying to be mean." But listen, nowadays people will come and try to cancel you for saying words that they don't like and that doesn't agree with them. So I try to be as not mean as possible, but some of the stuff I say you might take as mean, and if you do, I am sorry, I apologize. I truly am just trying to be critical. But that being said, let's get into it. Let's see what our girl here, April, has to say.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel, Wake Up Bright, where I share all the things that help me live each day a little brighter. I am April Lauren, and I have been sharing my weight loss journey here on YouTube for the last few years. And man, it's been a struggle, but I'm still on.
And one of the things she gets crap about is that she okay, here. She acts like this is her first attempt at weight loss, and it's not. And it's okay. I've tried to lose weight on and off for the past few years, but mentally I wasn't fully there, right? Like I was still depressed and all that, and I just wasn't mentally ready. I hadn't hit that wall yet. I have no problem that April's tried, dieting for years without success. It bothers me she did keto because if she did and gained a ton of weight at over 300 pounds, if you are doing keto right, guys, you are not going to gain weight. Well, especially if you're that big, unless you are just grossly overeating. But I take it she's kind of one of the ones that uses like a lot of the keto substitutes to make the keto versions of the foods that she's giving up, and that's not really the right way to do it. But this isn't a keto video, this is an April video. The critique she gets is that she acts like this is her first go around and that she's done it perfectly. And up until she really started getting a lot of flack and her thread on the farms popped up, and people were really calling her out, she always acted like she was perfect. Everything was so happy and cheery and positive, and I never screw up on my diet, and I exercise 1 billion times a day, and all this and that. And it's great. And it's like, that's not how it is, guys. I've recorded myself like crying over a cup of ice cream. Like it's hard. We aren't perfect. She acts like she did 75 hard and she did it the first time the whole way through, no problems. It was a breeze. No, she didn't. I don't believe she did, because 75 hard is not called 75 easy. It's called 75 hard for a reason. And it's all about honesty, right? If she would just be honest and be like, oh, I'm screwing up, I'm having this troubles. I don't think she exercises as much as she claims, but I do think she's active. I do think she's tries to move her body and do these things, and that's great. But I don't think she does size appropriate things, because guys, I need a knee replacement, and my knee kills me. It killed me when I was 190 pounds at my highest. She shouldn't be running and doing decas and stuff like that when she is still morbidly obese. She already had a reconstructive knee surgery, and I would hate to see her re-injure it or hurt her good knee and then be laid up again, and it will just set her back. Because April's problem, and I have my theories on why she's so particular about this, is food. It's all comes down to the food. And I don't even think she eats particularly bad all the time. I just think she eats too much, and I think she might graze and stuff like that. But yeah, the reason she gets flack is because she's not honest. Hey guys, I've tried to do this before. And there's no harm in admitting that you tried and failed. You know, you're still trying, you're going at it again. Learn from your mistakes. That's where she gets a lot of her heats.
That journey to lose 200 pounds
and 200 pounds is a lot. And I'm going to tell you guys, and this is not to knock her, I don't believe that we are getting honest weights from her, because I don't think personally she was ever honest about her starting weight. She gave us a starting weight of about 352 point something. I really think that her starting weight was closer to around 390. Maybe the big 4 in front of it. And I think that she was just utterly humiliated about that. I think that she did not want her husband to hear that she was at or almost at 400 pounds. Because when he met her, she was thin. That was the one time in her life she was thin and fit. She had lost a bunch of weight on a protein-sparing modified fast medically monitored. And she lost the weight and kept it off just long enough to snag a husband. And then she had gained it back immediately. In fact, she gained 30 pounds in the 3 months between their engagement and their wedding. So she has had a problem keeping weight off and making sustainable changes her whole life. And what she's doing now isn't sustainable, but we will get into that. But yeah, I don't think we're ever getting honest weights from her. I will step on the scale. I will show you pictures, and I haven't thought about that. I'm like, I need to start doing that because I don't have anything to hide. but I don't show it, but I will. And I think I will try to set that up. So I will set that up as a short, or, we'll figure it out. But she doesn't step on the scale because I think she's truly upset and embarrassed about that starting weight. And I think she initially lost weight. Personal opinion, I don't think she ever hit 100 pounds down. I think she started out closer to it, like I said, around at least 380, 390. And I think she lost about 50 pounds, which, good for her, great. But for her size and for her supposed commitment, it should have been a lot more, and it should have been more consistent. And this is going to get people down, right? People who have jobs and kids and responsibilities are going to go, oh my God, April, this is her job. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have kids. All she does is exercise for 1,000,000 hours a day and eat 1,800, 2,000 calories a day perfectly. And she only loses 0.2 pounds or 0.8 pounds. And other people are going to look at that and they're going to be like, it's impossible for me. I shouldn't even try. And that's not true. You have to understand, April is not being honest, and I don't find her inspiring. I think she's going to just, dissuade people from doing this stuff.
We're going to dive into,
and yes, if you're new and you don't know, I do talk a lot, so sorry, not sorry.
The weight I gained and the doctor's appointment that I had, and just talk a little bit more about weight loss in general. So
I am very glad that she did admit that she gained weight, because it's obvious, like she couldn't hide it. I don't think it's only 26 pounds. I think that it's maybe 26 pounds from when she said she packed up her scale in Fayetteville. But I think she had gained another like 25 or 20 to 30 pounds before that. So I think she's seriously back up about 50 pounds, maybe. So maybe in total she had lost about 70 pounds. She's definitely not at her biggest, because if you look at her at her biggest at the start, she was very, very big, and she's certainly not that big now. There's people that say, oh, she's like, she's back to her highest weight. She's surpassed it. No, she hasn't. And you can look at her here, and you can look at her starting pictures from the beginning of this channel, and she's definitely not that big. But I do think she's back up to around 300, 310, maybe 320, depending on what her starting weight actually was. If her starting weight was actually 350, then I definitely think she's back up to, around the 300s.
If you want to keep watching, then just keep watching.
See, if you look there, that's her at her biggest. She's nowhere near that big. I will give her that much credit. She has lost some weight, but she needs to learn how to confront her issues with food to keep the weight off. She's lost the weight before, but even then she still focuses solely on exercise to do it. And you cannot out-train all the excess calories you eat. You just can't, especially when they're so excessive. She needs to accept that if she wants to be a certain size and weigh a certain weight, and I'm 5'1" too, so like she's short like me, 5'1", 5'2". She's got to accept that even if you're active, you just can't eat 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 calories a day and be that size. So you need to pick what you want. You want to eat the food and be bigger, or not eat the food and come up with a sustainable plan and be thinner. It's that simple. And I know she was supposed to be trying to have a baby and stuff. I don't think she wants to have a baby. I mean, if she wants to truly be a mom and her husband truly wants to be a dad, then I do feel for them. And I feel bad for him too, because he does deserve to be a father. And if this is the only thing standing in their way, she is really not doing their part. The slow and steady crap. Come on. No, your time is ticking. You're not 30. You're almost 40. Your biological clock, that time is running out. And she's not just shorting herself, she's shorting him. And if, she doesn't want kids, then, shame on her for not being honest about it. But I don't know what the case is.
I still do not. And this doctor's appointment was a different type of doctor's appointment.
I have read on the forums. Shout out to them. I know some people don't like them, but you know what? They come up with great theories, find great information. I have no problems with the forums. I'm an avid reader. they've deduced that she is probably doing the lean program, which is a military weight loss program. And I like it. There's parts I maybe don't quite agree with, but for the most part, I have no problem with it.
And I still do not have a full understanding of what's going on. And I think that is intentional.
But yeah, it is intentional, April. And this is not just for April, it's for anybody. If you're at the doctor and they explain anything to you and you don't understand it, especially when it comes to something you need to change to better your health, make sure you say, hey, doc, is this what you mean? Or I'm not quite understanding it. Can you explain that a certain way? Or could you be more specific about that? And they will happily explain it to you. Don't walk out of there totally confused. Yeah, they don't want you to be confused about the stuff they're saying.
On the part of the practitioner. And it caught me off guard a little bit because the appointment is actually in behavioral health, which makes sense. So before I get there,
because April does need behavioral health care. I do believe she's stressed. I don't think she handles stress well, and she gets very easily overwhelmed. That's why I am scared. If she had a kid, I feel like her head might explode. But and she turns to food. She clearly does. And she definitely overeats and possibly binge eats. So that needs to be dealt with. And the thing is like, she shouldn't be embarrassed about it. I was really embarrassed for a long time about the disordered eating. But you know what? I've learned you don't have to be embarrassed about it. It's a manifestation. It's a way of dealing with other things, of trying to assert control. And food in modern day is addictive. It's made to be addictive. And if you eat that kind of stuff, if you already have disordered eating, eating that stuff just makes it worse. It makes it harder. So she should absolutely not be embarrassed about it. It's not like a failing on her part, and she can absolutely fix it and get it better and get on the right track.
There, let's back up. I went to a visit to my primary care doctor a while back, and then I went to a nutrition course here at Tripler. You have to do that before meeting with the dietitian. So then I met with the dietitian.
There's speculation that she might be doing this as a means to later on down the line qualify for weight loss surgery. And I'm surprised she hasn't tried Ozempic yet. I don't think she would admit it if she did, unless they sponsored her videos. I wouldn't give April crap for taking Ozempic or Wegovy or getting weight loss surgery. I think she almost needs it. She needs a physical block to the amount of food she eats, because just in general, or she needs somebody strict like that to be accountable to. Because facts are facts, and she just eats too much food. Guys, even if it's healthy, she is eating, like it's been discussed on other reaction channels, especially if she's as active as she is, she has to still be eating over 2,500, 28, maybe almost up to 3,000 calories a day. Guys, that's a metric shit ton of food. I am 5'1", and right now I am eating, like for a long time, mostly whole foods. My foods are minimally processed, and I eat a lot of whole foods, a lot of meats and stuff. And I'm telling you, sometimes there are days I just have trouble fitting in my and right now I'm only at about 1,400 calories. And that's based on my activity and all that, 1,500, and that's based on like my weight loss goals. At April's size, to lose weight, she could eat 2,000 calories, especially if she's as active as she is. She could start at like 2,200, 2,300, then go down to 2,000, then go down to 18,000, and then the 16,000 or 15,000, 1,600, not 16,000, 1,600 or 1,500 for maintenance. But that's a lot of food. She is eating so much food. I do think she has not so good food. I do think she eats a lot of takeout and stuff, but I do think she also eats healthy. The fact is she could still eat a lot of food and lose weight. So I don't think it's just binge eating for her. I think she just overconsumes, and that's something she needs to look at herself and admit and say, look, you eat too much. You still eat too much, and you got to cut it. You got to deal with not being able to eat what you want all the time. You got to eat portions that aren't as big as the portions you give your husband. You have to deal with being a little bit hungry for a little bit until your stomach shrinks down and you get used to the portions. It's just a fact. And I think she's delusional and just doesn't want to accept this. I know she's talked about, oh, I'm afraid of getting triggered an eating disorder, you know, and I think that maybe people say that stems back to that fast. The fact is that fast worked and it kept her nutritionally sound. And there's a big difference between 800 calorie fast and almost 3,000 calories. You know, there's a happy medium. Like I said, she could eat anywhere from 16 to 1,800 to 2,400 calories and lose weight, be eating a lot of food. Even at 1,600 calories, she could be eating a lot of food. That's not going to trigger a disorder, an eating disorder. That's not the anorexia or anything like that. And if it really is messing with her that bad, and she's so brittle and fragile about it, then she needs to be getting very significant mental health care for this.
And I think I talked a little bit about that before, and we will circle back to my meeting with the dietitian, but I think for me at this time, I need more structure. And when I express that, I learned.
Yes, you do. Because here's the thing is she touts, oh, I'm doing slow and steady and I want to build weight loss with sustainable habits. Okay. And the fact is doing decas and CrossFit and rock climbing and yoga and Spartan races and running marathons and then couch to 5Ks and then paddle boarding or whatever else she's going to throw in here and doing all this stuff 50 million times a day, being a member of 8 gyms and stuff like that. That's not sustainable. If you get an injury, you can't do it. If you have a baby, you can't go and do all this stuff all the time. The basis for the sustainable lifestyle comes to food and your eating habits and stuff like that. That's the foundation for the sustainable lifestyle. You could not exercise at all, technically, and lose weight or maintain your weight so long as you stay within your calorie limits. You don't overeat super processed crap. You don't eat too many. If you're not very active, you shouldn't go crazy on carbs. That's what's sustainable. You know, she's not going to be able to do these decas and like all this other crap I just named while she has little babies running around. You know what I mean? Or her husband's out of town and she has all this woman has to do. She has to, before my dog hurt his paw, my dog's a 7-pound Chihuahua. He's gained about a half a pound. He was 6.5 pounds. We used to walk all the way up through our little town and back. This dog walked, this little 7-pound dog walked 40 to 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. And he is lean and fit and in good shape. He's a little gun shy now because of the paw. He only wants to go a little bit and, you know, but we'll get him back there. But she has 2 slightly overweight German Shepherds. She should be walking each one of those dogs for an hour a day and boom, there's your 2 hours of cardio. That's all she would need to do and cut down her diet. But God, she's heard this a billion trillion times, hasn't she? Yes, that is structure. Every day I'm going to eat right. I'm going to eat within this limit. I'm going to prepare foods. I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to have certain things in the house for snacks and stuff like that I can eat, that I can grab, I can make easily so I don't end up just going and grabbing fast food. And FYI, April doesn't need the snack. She's carrying her snacks around on her body. Okay, she's still at least 275 pounds and a lot of it is excess snacks. So she should get in the habit of no snacking, preferably. Have healthy foods around, easy to prepare stuff. I eat the same few things, the same like literally 3 or 4 things every day. And it's easy. I don't have to think about food that much. And then get the walks with the dogs. And that's sustainable. And she could walk one of the dogs with a baby stroller and stuff too. And then take the other one. And the kids would like that too eventually. That is sustainability, working into a lifestyle of taking care of what you need to do and what you want to do. And her dogs need it too. So it should definitely be in her daily routine. But not all this, I'm like a fatly, whatever you want to call it.
Learned about the lean program, and the lean program.
Oh, okay. So she did actually say the lean. Okay. Yeah. People deduced that it was the lean program specifically from the military. So yeah, not just like there's random lean programs. She is in the military one because her husband is in the army. So
is a program developed by the doctor I'm meeting with to help people lose weight and keep it off by making lifestyle changes. I met with the doctor and he talked about how this program came to be, and it was really interesting hearing him talk. And then he started talking about the lifestyle changes and the importance of making overall lifestyle changes. He moved on to exercise,
which is just what everyone's been telling her. Now, the one thing I did watch, like Alona and Alan's review on this channel, so I have heard parts of this. And one thing I agree with them on is that April is still a little bit in denial. She focuses so much on, oh, and he's right, here's an example. She said, oh, the doctor talked about the losing weight by making sustainable lifestyle changes, and he talked about exercise. I'm sure he did, but exercise is not the primary goal. And but what he told her to do is proof of that. It's actually a minimal part of what he wants her to do. As far as I'm concerned, it's very minimal. But again, and April did this back, like I said, back before she met Kenny when she lost all the weight. She focuses on exercise because she doesn't want to give up the food. I mean, this is so classically girl world. April Lynn, Amber Lynn, frickin' Tammy Lynn, Chantel Lynn. We have a bunch of Lynn's running around here, right? They all don't want to give up the food, but they want the results. And April said it before. She's done the work she's willing to do. No, you have to do the work you need to do. I mean, like, it's not easy. Like right now, when my son isn't visiting his grandparents and he's got all his little treats and stuff, and he eats pretty healthy, but he has his little kid treats and stuff. It's hard because I just want to go and grab this stuff and eat it and munch on it and graze. I have like problems, especially with sweet stuff. When he's home, when he's not visiting them for a couple days, I do so much better because I don't even think about food until later in the day. But when I just don't see it, I don't touch it, I don't smell it. And I like that because once I start eating, I want to keep eating. So I push it off. But with him, he wants his breakfast, he wants his snacks, he wants his lunch, his dinner. He eats a lot. He's 11, he's growing. So I think about food a lot more, and it's very triggering, and it makes it hard and it makes it tricky. But food is like the most important part.
And exercise, it was an interesting chat about exercise. By chat, it really wasn't. It was more him talking and I was listening. So it wasn't really a chat.
Which is good because April doesn't like to listen, especially to like sound advice. She calls it bullying and harassment. And she needs to do more listening because clearly at this point, what she's doing is not working. I think she initially lost some weight because she was moving a bit more, and she was so big that just cleaning up her diet a little bit and cutting back the food a little bit was enough to make her drop that initial 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds. Now she's got to do work, and that's where she's running into problems.
He did ask me at one point, he put up on the board, he was quoting a study. I don't remember what study, but he said that in this study, there were actually 5 groups tested. He focused on 3. So 2 of the 5 it had no bearing on weight loss whatsoever. One of those was like read a book every day. But the other one was 40 minutes of exercise every day versus 20 minutes.
Well, the reading a book part should be easy because didn't April do that as part of her like super 75 hard success? How many times did she do it? 1, 2, 3 times supposedly perfectly? No way, I've tried it. It's very easily to get off track. So, but anyways.
Minutes 2 times a day versus 10 minutes 4 times a day. And he asked me, well, what group did I think would be most successful and why? And
I've been doing like an hour to 2 hours once a day and then trying to get another like at least 30 minutes in.
I thought about it for a second. I'm like, I feel like the 20 minutes 2 times a day because 4 times a day is a lot. It's a lot to fit that.
Because it's going to be cold here soon and I'm not going to be able to go out and walk a lot. And do you hear what she just said? She said 10 minutes 4 times a day is a lot, or 40 minutes in one fell swoop is a lot. No, it's like, I don't try to criticize, but this woman has nothing going on. Her husband is often even away for training or work or whatever. So a lot of the times it's just April and dogs and her lonesomeness. No kids, nothing like that. No responsibilities, no outside job. 2 big dogs, 2 German shepherds, how could she ever say that that was a lot? She should have been like, hey, doc, I just ran a half marathon. I trained for a half marathon. That like 40 minutes, let alone the 20 or 10. Pooh, that I can do that with my eyes closed. That's just a little short jaunt for me. How could, I think she's kind of gives little clues to that, like they said on the forums, and I do tend to agree. And Ilona, Shakara Transformations, and all Alan Roberts, they've all said it, and I tend to agree. She's just not as active as she claims to be. And this is the problem: is April has curated these lies and this image, and now she's to a point where she can't hide it anymore. I think that this video, what April should have done in this video, is just completely come clean. Just, even if she doesn't about the stuff before, okay, just say, look, I've had a bad time. I've been off track. I have not tried to lose weight. I haven't tried to maintain weight. I've gained weight. Here's the scale. This is me getting on it. This is what I weigh right now. And don't worry about, oh, I was lying about my weight before. Just show us right here, right now, clean slate. This is what I'm doing. I'm in this lean program. This is what I weigh. Here, Kenny, here's me on the scale. I weighed these clothes. I weighed myself out of these clothes before this video clip, and now I'm putting them on. And the clothes, or we'll just weigh the clothes add an extra 1.5 pounds. She can just do one of her little running outfits, which don't weigh that much. Here's me stepping on the scale, not holding on to anything, and he could show her full body, then go zoom in, show the scale, or get the talking scale, hello, it's ready, and show us and say, here it is. Bottom line, the past is the past, just this is where we're at and this is where we're going. And then every week for accountability and to be part of this program, there's her clean slate. There's her chance to that's the redemption arc. And then every week do the same thing. Set up the tripod, have Kenny film it, get on the scale for your weekly weigh-in or monthly weigh-in or whatever you want to do. And she didn't. She still lied. Oh, I lost 26 pounds since I left Fayetteville. No, okay, but what about the rest of the weight you gained, April? You're not being honest. Like, we know what you were saying before that you weighed, but we know it's not true. So just hop on the scale and say, look, guys, this is like a complete restart. Okay, I'm sorry if I wasn't honest before. My weight is a very touchy subject. I was trying to catch up. My little fibs got away from me, but here is me right now showing you that I respect you as my audience, as people who pay my bills, showing you that I think enough of you that you deserve honesty, and here it is. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that. And I wouldn't have faulted her for that. I would have been like, okay, yes, good, some honesty. Here she is, here's where we're at, and watch it go forward.
And then you start missing. And I feel like everything weight loss related, once you miss something, it's like you just shame spiral. At least that's how I am.
No, you got to watch. It's very possible to do that. But you can get out of that.
And I feel like that's how most people are. So I knew it wasn't that one. And then 40 minutes a day, 45 minutes a day is a lot. He talked specifically about someone from the study who...
It's really not. And I've got a kid and stuff like that too. So April, 45 minutes a day is not a lot for April.
Explained that for her, it wasn't just the 45 minutes. It was, she drove to the doctor's office, which took like 30 minutes or so. And then she was at the doctor's office for the exercise, and then she had to fix her hair.
Yeah, she's talking
and
about
everything
some
else
lady.
And not while doing anything else. Like that, those 20-minute walks should be,
yes.
How that is very important, specifically doing that. Or doing anything else. Like that, those 20-minute walks should be focused on walking for weight loss.
So basically not setting up her camera, trying to get like footage. I don't care about the B-roll footage. I like it. I actually think she used to put together very nice, well done videos. I like the B footage. I like seeing the scenery and what she's doing and the different angles. It's creative. Okay. I'm not knocking her for it. I like it. She's a very good, at putting videos together. Definitely has a style and everything. But, I agree. Like when you're doing those specific walks, You want to walk briskly, get your heart rate up a little bit, and you don't want to have to worry about dragging around your tripod, setting it up. Set up. Her best thing she would do is like set up and get her shots when she's walking the dogs or doing other stuff or before the walk. Then go put her equipment back in the car or whatever, or back in her house, and then just go do your walk and not focus on the YouTube aspect of it.
And that the heart rate should be between 100 and 140 something. I can't remember what he said, beats per minute. I have it written down though.
And she supposedly doesn't have great cardiovascular health. They said her rate gets up to 160 and stuff, walking briskly and stuff. Girl, as a paramedic, I can tell you that makes me nervous. I was very, 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 very sedentary when I got really, really sick, when the Lyme disease really set in, made me very sick for a long time. And I couldn't hardly do anything. I could barely walk. We thought I was going to need a walker, and the doctor thought that by the time I was about 44 or 45, I would need to possibly consider a wheelchair for long excursions and stuff. And that's very hard to talk about. I don't talk about it with people. But that's how bad I was. That's how freaking, messed up I was. And even then, my heart rate didn't go up to 160. Now, keep in mind, April is still morbidly obese. So she really needs to worry about the size appropriate exercise. And that's not running and decas and stuff like that. The walking and the swimming is really good too. I know the doctor told her not to swim. He focuses on walking. But elliptical stuff like that's just not very, very pounding on your joints.
And so he was
give those joints some mercy, for heaven's sakes.
Talking about how that is very important, specifically doing that. And so then we talked a little bit more. And so doing that, just walking. So he said walking is the answer. So not running, not swimming, and not strength training. He's like, for weight loss.
And I don't think she shouldn't do weight training or swimming or anything like that. Go do that. Do that for fun. Don't be trying to be freaking power lifter extraordinaire, April. Just do some body weight exercises, low weight, just for toning and to build up your strength, and not in a dangerous manner and not in a way that's going to potentially hurt you. But I know what this guy's trying to do. He just wants to focus something cardio, something very specific that people get in the zone and they do it every single day because it's a consistency. It becomes a lifestyle habit. You just do it. So I see where he's coming from that.
Yes. The type of exercise you should do is the walking 2 times a day for 20 minutes with your heart rate in that range and focus on just walking. Say that is on top of other activities. So if you also strength train, well, you should do your 2 20-minute walking, or I should do my 2 20-minute walking sessions if I'm going to swim.
Yeah, so he's basically saying do all this other stuff if you want, but do not skimp. You absolutely get it in your head. You have to do these walks. They are a must.
To do anything else, that I should do those 2 20-minute walks every day, no matter what, forever. And he referenced a quote, I think from Oprah, where she was talking about her weight loss and how she had
Oprah has sucked at weight loss. She has cycled for years. I mean, she really had problems. I don't think you should be taking weight loss advice from Oprah personally, but that's just me.
Made her weight loss part of her everyday routine that she did every single day, no matter what. And she's like, it's kind of like brushing your teeth. You don't brush your teeth some days and don't brush your teeth other days.
Some people do.
Just brush your teeth, and it's part of your routine. So he talked about lifestyle and he talked about exercise. And the whole time we were in our meeting, I was like, okay, he's probably going to weigh me now. He's probably going to weigh me now. But then he wrote on his dry erase board.
Yes, he's going to weigh you, April. And the fact that she's so scared of this weight, listen, you got to just face it. Face up to what's happened and what you've done and go from there. I know the weight is scary. The scale is scary. It used to be very, very triggering for me. I've gotten much better about it. And I use it much more effectively as a tool for weight loss and just general health and maintenance. But the fact that she's so weird about that number shows that she is truly in a place that she is not happy, which should be incentive to lower it, because I know she talks about non-scale victories, non-scale victories. The only reason these people like her focus so much on the goddamn non-scale victories is because there are no scale victories. But in the grand scheme of things, when you are doing weight loss, you gotta have scale victories or it's not weight loss journey, right? It's whatever. It's a fitness journey. It's a movement journey. It's something like that. She's got to learn to focus on the scale too. She has to focus on that number at some point.
3 things that he wants me to do every day.
This is funny coming up because April gives a lot away with her mannerisms and her facial expressions. And when she's talking about in this section here, she gives a lot away. Is this a thumbnail? Possibly.
Forever. So the 3 things he has asked me to do are to weigh every single day, no matter what.
And I know some people say not to, especially if you're still like a menstruating woman. I do, because like, okay, here's my take. I know it triggers some people, but I learned that gives me a good gauge of what makes me fluctuate and stuff. I know now that a pound or 2 or even 3 or 4, if I'm on track, is not actual weight gain. It will show, oh, I ate fast food yesterday. I'm up a pound. I'm retaining water. That type of food is going to make me retain water, but I didn't overeat too much, so I didn't actually gain fat. I haven't gained actual weight. It's my time of the month because scale starts creeping up when I'm on plan. Okay, I'm just retaining water. I'm swollen, stuff like that from poor sleep. From my time of the month, I'm 100 pounds lighter than April, give or take, right? And I can fluctuate 4 to sometimes up to 5 pounds when it's that time of the month. And I can see that. But then as that starts going away, I see it trending back down. So I don't let that get to me because I see that it's just a daily fluctuation. Like if I say I started at like 180 and I was going down, and I had gotten down to like 174, but then I went back up to like 178 or 179 from my period. But I only weighed like once every couple of weeks or once a week or once a month. And I've been working at it and I've been doing all this. And I get on the scale like only once a week or once a month or something, once every couple of weeks. And I see, oh, all that hard work. I'm in a calorie deficit. I've been doing all this work. I didn't even lose a pound. I only lost about a pound. That would be disheartening. And that would make me say, like, God, what I'm doing is not working. This sucks. Why bother? I wouldn't have seen, oh no, you actually got down to like 174, 175. Right now, that's just water weight from your period. What you're doing is actually working. So I find comfort in hopping on that scale first thing in the morning, just for a second, and using it as a metric. And I think that would kind of be good for April too, because maybe if she has like a little bit of a slap in the face, like after she eats a big fast food meal, eats takeout, goes to dinner again, and she's, oh man, I stayed within my calories and everything, but I'm up 2 pounds. Wow, I don't think I want to eat that again. I don't think I want to eat at that restaurant, or I don't want to get that meal when I go back there, because obviously it was so high in carbs and sodium and that man, it gets the scale up for a pound or 2, and it might make her think, oh, next time I go to that restaurant, oh, you know what, maybe we'll just stay home and cook today. Or if she goes to that restaurant, no, I think I'm going to get just like some steak or the grilled fish, and I'm going to get a side salad as opposed to like a pasta dish or something. It might help her to make better changes. But that's just me. I am not advising anybody who's really triggered by the scale to weigh every day. I'm telling you, for me, I have found it, and being able to record that data and stuff, it shows me what my body is doing on a daily basis, and I can track it back to my behaviors for the previous day or 2. So I find comfort in it. If I don't weigh every day, I get a little like, because I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but I think that this would be good for her.
And he suggested the morning without clothes.
There she goes, right there. There's her excuse. He suggested in the morning without clothes, guys. So that means I can't give you a weigh-in because my doctor said naked without clothes. No weigh-ins for you. Well, Screw that, April. You could very easily weigh in au naturel, and then, like I said, put on one of your little skimpy outfits and then hop back on and do your weight and say, okay, I weighed myself earlier naked. This is what it says now. I'm showing you. And oh, by the way, these clothes add 12 ounces or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So it would still be a good metric. But right there, she'll use that as her excuse. My doctor said naked and I can't show myself naked on YouTube.
As close.
She absolutely, guys, will never, ever, ever, ever show us the scale. Not until she is actually being honest. And as far as I'm concerned, as long as she doesn't show the scale, she is not being honest about her weight or her losses.
To the time that I wake up as possible. That was what he suggested.
Yeah, I weigh first thing in the morning after I pee or whatever, before I eat or drink anything. And I don't really eat in the morning anyways. And it is the closest you're going to get to your most accurate weight.
And the why behind that was interesting to me. I had never thought about it in this way. He said that no doctor ever would tell someone who was struggling with their blood pressure, or if they had diabetes, struggling with their blood sugar, to not test their blood pressure, to not take that reading, to not test their blood sugar or take that reading. They would not suggest that. They would have them do it every day. And he's like, when you struggle with your weight, it's no different. You need to weigh and you need to weigh.
Does April have trouble with her blood pressure? Because I know, like I said, on the farms, they do speculate about how flushed she gets with her cheeks and stuff, and her heart rate, that she may have high blood pressure is one of the problems that she will not disclose. And I think that they could be correct. I mean, that's a possibility. Like I said, I'm only speculating and stuff, but I do have some concern for her vascular health.
Every day. That's the best way to maintain your weight, in his opinion. And
I agree, because if you weigh every day, you can see those fluctuations. Like I said, if you gain a couple pounds because you went away or whatever, you can see where you're at and get yourself back on track before it gets really away from you. Then you've been gone, you haven't weighed for a week or two or a month, and then you're up a large amount of weight, and you're like, oh shit, man, you know what I mean? You can intervene before it gets too out of control.
As the studies that he sourced have shared, right or wrong, that is what I'm doing and committed to. So.
But no, don't sit there and go right or wrong. That's what I'm committed to. April, it's just say it's right, okay? April Lynn, don't be like your sister Amber. If the doctor says it's right, and you want to do this program, then do it. Just do it. It's right. Whatever he says is right, do it. And don't be catty about it.
So weighing every single day. The second thing he asked me to do was to walk. And right now he said to just walk 10 minutes for exercise every day. And
that also makes me question why or how much activity she actually does. Because if she came in there and said, Doc, I just ran this half marathon, I did this, and the other, why would he start her just at 10 minutes and have her build up to that gargantuan task of 20 minutes twice a day? And when I first started and I could barely walk because of my knees and stuff, 20 minutes was a feat. But I worked up and I got there. But that was from nothing. Like, I hadn't worked out or moved or anything in a long time. If she was really coming from this state of so much health and activity, he would have said, okay, well, you're good. Just 20 minutes twice a day, right there. Boom, there you go. I am curious as to why he started her at 10 minutes. That's like a little telling that she may have been, little bit, pinchy fingers, a little bit fibbing with her exercise.
And then to build to that 20 minutes 2 times a day. And that's when I asked him, like, okay, does this replace everything that I've done and am doing? Like, do I just do that? And he's like, do a little bit of both. He's like, do your walks and then also do that. Now
he and she did a cut here, okay?
And I'm doing, like, do I just do that? And he's like, do a little bit of both. He's like, do your walks and then also do that. Now
her hair, like, is a little different. The lighting is different. And this is the funny part to me, because she looks like very kind of stoic and not happy after this cut. After that last segment she cut, and now she's talking like this. And she seriously, as she said this and revealed this, and it's like she's reliving this almost traumatic conversation in her head all over again. She looks like somebody just kicked her puppy. I mean, that's how unhappy she is about this next thing. What is this next thing? Oh, well, let's listen. I wonder what it could be.
Walk 10 minutes into.
I'm going to put this on normal speed so we can listen to this very carefully.
Getting my heart rate up, but not up too high, for 10 minutes without stopping.
Yes.
And
look at this. After that, she takes this big pause, has this look on her face that's very good for a thumbnail, actually. And she's just so, like, disheartened by it. And I think there's a couple reasons for that, and I will get into it.
The third thing he has asked me to do,
dun, dun, dun,
is to write down or put in an app to track my food every single day.
Let's hear it again. And then she cuts immediately and comes to the big, ha, happy Cheshire Cat rictus grin, because I swear, after she said the words, she probably broke down and had to cut, which is very, very troubling. But let's hear that again.
Or the third thing he has asked me to do is to write down or put in an app to track my food every single day.
Oh my goodness. I don't think April has ever heard that before. I mean, and I think, okay, here's my take. I think that she was so pissy about this because as we said earlier, she doesn't want to eat less. She doesn't want to drastically cut back her portions. She wants to keep eating what she's eating as much as she wants. And two, if she cuts back a lot, maybe that will say to Kenny, oh, she was really eating a whole hell of a lot of food, like way too much. Because I don't think she's honest around Kenny about how much she eats. I think she's very embarrassed about the weight she gained. I think she doesn't want him to believe that she's as big as she is because of the food, that maybe it's because of the PCOS and stuff, because showing him, if he knew how much she actually eats, that she would look like a glutton, she would look greedy, which it is, but I think she would feel judged from him. And I'm not saying he would, but that is a possible thing because she is eating a disturbing amount of food, like 2 women's worth of food a day. And no, that doesn't say, oh, I'm this petite, dainty, wife. I'm eating more than my active military husband. So I think part of the issue she has with food is she doesn't want Kenny to know how much she eats. And I don't think she wants him to know how much she actually weighed at her heaviest. And because like I said, he didn't marry a fat girl. He married her when she was 160 pounds. She was thin, fit, very, very cute. April really looked great. She stuck to that plan and looked amazing. She was a very attractive young woman. And the other thing, this is what I think gets her the most. Let me know in the comments if you agree with me. But I think the reason that got her goat so freaking badly is because she probably hates Alan Roberts. Woohoo, get there faster. And she absolutely, she absolutely despises Ilona from Shakara Transformations. Absolutely hates Ilona. I can guarantee it. And they're haters. They're bullies. Accused Ilona of being this bully and stalker and harasser. And she's so mean. She's a big meanie. Blah, 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 blah. When this is exactly what they've been saying. It's the food, April. You need to track. You need to eat less. It doesn't matter how much you're freaking exercising. Track your food. Eat whole foods. Count your calories. Limit your carbs. Don't eat out so much. This is, and even I remember in videos, Ilona saying, you need to do it every single day. You can't just do it sometimes. You can't just do it a couple days a week. You have to do it consistently all the time. And I'm sure this just absolutely, the words probably felt like frickin' acid coming off of her tongue when she had to admit this, because this is exactly her haters I told you so moment. The people on the farms talk about this too. She eats too much. She needs to track. She refuses to deal with her food issues. And this is and she's like, oh, tracking is triggering and blah, blah, blah. If it's that triggering, then you need to go get a meal plan. Find someone that says, okay, look, I can't track food because I am so fragile and I'm a snowflake and I can't track food. So please order these meals or give me these meals and just say, this is what you eat today. In the morning, make this much food. And just all you have to do is measure out amounts, and you don't have to worry about actually adding the calories and stuff. Well, except this doctor wants her to, but she could have done this before. Or she could have got a meal plan service where she could have just figured out how much she needed to eat, had them ordered, and all she had to do was open them up, stick them in a microwave or the oven, and eat them. And she wouldn't have to count, wouldn't have to measure, wouldn't have to do anything. But ultimately, if she wants to live this way and be fit and be healthy weight and possibly get pregnant, she's going to have to get used to facing that strange demon and actually weighing out her food, being mindful of her portions and stuff like that. So this was absolutely the haters. We told you so, April moment. And I think that she hates it for that reason alone more than anything. And it's kind of funny because it's true. It's the food, April Lynn. It's the food. You eat too much. And you can't go out to eat all the time. You can't eat like your husband. It is what it is. She's not like Ilona where she's bodybuilding and she's like 5'8", 5'9", something like that. April's like me. She's a little 5'1", rotund, almost 40 woman. It's with PCOS and hormonal issues. And those hormonal issues will actually go away or go in remission when she gets to a healthy weight. But, you gotta be honest. But I just thought this whole section was funny. So I'm sorry I went off on that. But yeah, go check out Alan Roberts and Ilona on Shakura Transformations if you want to see what they've said about them. This is exactly what they've been saying. And the people on the farms and people in her comment section that she completely nukes all of those comments. Any comment that doesn't say, oh, you're amazing, you're wonderful, stunning and brave and perfect, she nukes. But they've been telling her this not to bully her, but because this is sound advice. That's their job. That's what these people do for a living. They coach people to get in shape, lose weight. Ilona just trained somebody for a bodybuilding show. They know what they're doing. They're not coming at it from a hateful place.
I have weighed 26 pounds more today than I did when I made the decision to pack up my scale in North Carolina.
Yes, but what did you weigh when you packed up the scale in North Carolina? Because I believe, like I said, she probably had gained about 25 pounds from what she's admitting at that point. So I think she's up at the very least for like 40 pounds. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
And
because April has a marketing background and she's very good at using camera angles and trickery and distance and shapewear and colors of her clothes and background and stuff to hide and manipulate and even posture to manipulate how she looks in a photo and make it look like she's lost more than she has. She also, when she shows progress photos, will only show her starting foot picture when she was at her most round to current. She won't show current progress photo from like last month's progress photo or from a couple months ago because you wouldn't see progress. In fact, you might see regression. So she's very good at doing these little sneaky things. And once you're privy to it, you like can't see it. You're like, oh my God, how come I didn't notice this before?
It sucks. Not giving myself over to it.
I think that she is very upset that she gained weight. But April, even if you were 250 pounds, you gained at least 26, 30 pounds as a 250 pound woman. Don't sit there and say it sucks because it's like you could have stopped it at 4 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds. You ate so much food. You admitted you didn't have your scale out. You weren't staying on plan. You ate out all the freaking time. And you can still eat out and not eat a ton of food. So like, I kind of don't want to hear the, I didn't let myself give into it or whatever word inspiration porn salad she's giving us. You knew it was happening, and 26 pounds for me would be significant. Like, I can't imagine. So 25 pounds on someone who's still 120 pounds overweight is a atrocious amount of food. So, like, don't sit there and go, oh, it sucks. Like, you could have stopped it before it got this bad.
Is so important to just.
And you were training for a half marathon. Like, that's the other thing. How much was she eating? If she was supposedly running 6, 10, 13 miles several times a week, how much food were you freaking hoovering to not even maintain your weight at that size, but to gain weight? Like, Jesus, tap dancing. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of food, guys. And like her audience is like delusional enough to believe that she's still not eating all that much.
To continue forward and to stop those shames.
The only way to continue forward, April, and not shame spiral is to just admit, I eat too much food. Look in the mirror and look at yourself and say, I eat too much food. You eat too much food. I overeat. I eat a gluttonous amount of food. I need to stop. I eat out too much. I need to stop. And I need to learn to be a little bit hungry. And I cannot walk, run, swim, DECA, Ironman, weightlift, whatever, rock climb, yoga my way out of those calories. Like, it's just, you just have to be honest. First react back, guys. And I'm like trying to get back into the swing of things, but I'm a little bit high strung.
Spirals and all of the little things that we tend to do.
Shame spirals, yeah.
I think another challenging part of it for me is that when I start those spirals, it puts me in such a negative space, and I don't want to be in.
Yeah, that's why you have to try, April, to avoid that by not eating out all the time and not eating the same portions as your husband and not eating giant piles of rice and serving dishes full of protein pudding just because it's protein pudding. It's still freaking pudding. Like, don't have big giant bowls of oatmeal in the morning. Like, don't eat anabolic French toast all the time. It's still freaking French toast. Like, make better choices, April, please. Please, please, please make better choices.
So instead, it's like I just choose. I'm like, okay, so we're gonna go snorkeling and we're gonna scuba dive and we're gonna have.
And all that's fun, but April, you're not talking about the food. And she never brought up the food again. She goes right back into activity. Oh, paddleboarding, boating, snorkeling, all this and that. You can't snorkel. You cannot activity your way out of hundreds and thousands of extra calories. You can't. It's not like she is in 100-calorie surplus. She's in like hundreds, even when she's active. So again, this is April 1 being delusional to herself, and 2, skirting around the issue of the food. She never mentioned the food again in this video. She never said, okay, I had to admit to my doctor, I eat too much. I'm admitting to you guys, I overeat. I emotionally eat. I eat too much. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do this and truly do this and you have these relationships with food, you need to be honest with yourself, your doctors, and your audience. Like, I admit things I don't necessarily like admitting, but I am honest about it. And you know what? I have great support from the people that watch me. I have viewers that I consider online friends that give sound advice, give good support, and say, hey, it's okay. You've got this, give some tips and advice. And I admire that, and I like it, and I take it in, and I'm utilizing some of their advice right now, and it's helping me. April flat out won't take your advice. She actually tells people, oh, I'd love to hear your stories of what you're doing and your journey and stuff. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. I don't want you giving me advice. So she isn't even open and receptive to these things because she doesn't want to change. She's stubborn, and her stubbornness and bullheadedness is the reason why she's always going to be fat. She absolutely has the ability to change, but she is in her own way. Like, look at that picture back there if you're not on the right of her and Kenny, those couple of pictures. Look at how cute she was. Look at how thin she was. Look at how happy they were. She could do that again. She is her own worst freaking enemy.
have all these little adventures, and I'm gonna.
And you know what? If she can't admit it and she wants to be that stubborn, then you know what? Her fate is her own doing, and it is what it is, and she shouldn't complain because she's bringing it on herself.
Just focus on the fun things, and I'm going to block out.
You can't just focus on the fun things, April. You can't just focus on everything that's fun or every time you're motivated or excited. Weight loss and maintenance and life in general and success in general is about it's about consistency and repetition and doing the stuff that's long and boring and doesn't make good content and is a slog and is day to day and it's just like you do it over and over and you're like, oh, this sucks and I don't want to do this today and I don't want to eat this today, but you do it because you have to. It's not always going to be fun and happy and perfect and amazing, you know what I mean? And that's her problem. She thinks it should be, and if it's not, she wants to bail, and you can't do that. Anybody out there, you can't do that. You have to be willing to do the long, slow, monotonous work when it comes to weight loss. The managing your food, measuring, staying away from certain things, making better choices, maybe not going out to eat, bringing your own food to events, being active when you want to sit and watch Netflix, stuff like that. And April doesn't want to do that.
The bad, meanwhile, time is moving.
And clearly she knows she has to because she gained all the weight back plus some that she lost before.
On. I've gained 26 pounds, almost.
Plus 20? Is that what we're going with? She gained 26 plus something.
Like right at. And I'm not very happy about that yet. That
You're not very happy about it, but April, you won't be honest and you won't do anything about it.
is life. And
no, that's not life. That doesn't have to be life. Oh my God. Okay, like I'm going to end it here. Because this is like everything I wanted to cover. April is her own worst enemy. She is still in denial about food, still focusing 98% on exercise and movement. And I mean, let's like all we heard the whole video, exercise. And then, oh, he wants me to track my food. And then didn't mention anything. Didn't talk about, oh, I ate this and I ate that and I do too much. And I need to change this about my food. And guys, I need to really be accountable. It's going to set herself, she's going to fail. She's going to fail if she can't face reality. But anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm happy to be back. I hope you like this react. I'm going to be doing some other stuff. I am still going to be recording the happily ever after version of the Proving Fat Logic Wrong series and success stuff. And I want to do some other things. And I can't wait to start fall vlogging. So going to learn how to do that. Going to be working on that. Going to have some fun stuff coming up for the spooky season. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. I will talk to you later. Bye.